All right, what's up, everybody? All right, so all right, hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Also a great week from last week. I know the market was a little bullish, a little bearish right in the beginning, but then after that we just became straight bullish, and we closed right above some good levels. So kind of just waiting to see what the week is going to bring about. It is a holiday on tomorrow, but it's not. I don't think it's anything that's going to affect us in any way, shape, or form. So just make sure you guys are prepared for both sides either way. Just because we have a nice bullish day doesn't mean that we're gonna, hit all-time highs. Just because we have a bullish day doesn't mean we're gonna reject as well and keep on trending down. You just got to make sure that you prepare for both sides, that you're understanding what levels are going to be the major breakout points, what levels are going to be your hold of basis and hold supply, hold demand, and all these things, right? In order to gauge in on what's going to be the direction for the week. Not everything has to have a direction on a week. Everything can stay range if it wants to. Some things can break down, other things can break up. So again, you guys just make sure that when you're charting and you're ready for your ticker of the week, that you don't get biased and that you wait for proper direction. If you don't wait for that proper direction, most likely you're going to get killed on theta option contracts. If you're trading shares, congratulations, theta is not going to kill you. Okay. So what I want to point out today with the market is the levels that we're in. Some of the important things here that we're going to be looking for is this top right here. Okay, so I want to point out this base right here that we created on this run up, right? So this was a nice healthy run up, and then right here we just kicked in some volatility, and the volatility kicked in with some sell-offs, strong sell-offs here and there. There's a lot of news happening in these areas, so that's why the candles look aggressive. Okay, so here everything looks nice and healthy. The volume is pretty good. Not a lot of major volatility, but other than that, we're still we were trending nice. So after the volatility is done, what do you look for? Things that have to do with catalysts. Catalysts can be good, can be bad. Once all that is said and done, then that's the direction that we're going to head into based on the catalyst, whatever it may be. You guys know that there's a lot of talk about the financial crisis and all that stuff, the debt, and all that stuff that's going on, right? I don't have to come in here and give you guys a news briefing, right? Because I'm not an anchor man. I just like looking at the charts and the breakout levels. So you guys make sure you do your own due diligence, but also understand like what's really happening out there. It does affect the markets, and it does affect the tickers that we look at, and this is why we choose specific things, right? If you have something that's affecting airlines, you're definitely going to look at airlines, right? In a bad way, it's probably going to go down. In a good way, it's most likely going to go up, vice versa to whatever ticker you guys are looking at. But what we have here in the market is after all that volatility, after all that news is happening, we actually created this nice space. So if you guys go look at the previous video that was posted, I did talk about this, being a base. It may not look like a base to you, but if you see that we never went any lower, we actually kind of just held, and we started building some candle bodies inside here, breaking the resistance on what was this Thursday, and then into Wednesday. Thursday we kind of held, and then Friday we just kind of had a slow day, so which was pretty good. Some of you guys may think it's like a sell-off. There's a difference between a sell-off and a pullback. A pullback goes with lowering volume. A sell-off goes with more aggressive volume into the downside. So here it just looks like a little pullback. So look where we created, right? We created the base, and look where we kind of just held. So if I pull this right across, look where we're kind of hanging out at. We're kind of hanging out in a level where we once were resistance, which is this like 44.15. If you want to bring it up a little more, 44.22, or just round it off 44.23, whatever you feel comfortable. But I like the 44.15 area, where if we break above, most likely we're going to start trending into these all-time highs. Why do I say all-time highs? Because technically up here, you don't really have much of a structure to create a supply, right? The only area that's kind of like a supply is right here. So for those of you who are a lot safer traders, you would go over here, that 44.80 level, right? But by then, you've already missed the nice move to the top side. And I personally like to take this one just because it shows more of a longer base versus this here. All right, the supply here is not as strong. All this was just a nice drop base drop, drop base drop. And then this right here is the area where a lot of the major buyers are going to step in if they do step in this week. So this is the only level that I'm really looking at, the 43.75, and then the 44.15, 44.16, and 44.23, just like I gave you guys the round off number, right? The other bottom level is the 43.25. This is like my dip buy area where I would love to dip buy. 43.50 is another level. So make sure you guys mark those levels, right? So that 43.50, that 43.25 area, 44.15 to 44.23. Your target is 44.50, and then the top of like 44.80, okay? 78 to 80, around there. Okay, the 80 is going to be the break above. So those are the major levels that you want to look for in the market, wherever we are at. So for instance, if like Apple falls into support and then you see this thing come down right here, most likely you'll get the nice little bounce, and then you'll be able to buy Apple, and then you'll go long just like that, right? And then it's the same thing for resistance. Once you reach a resistance, most likely you get a little pullback. Not to say that we're going to get a sell-off, okay? But those are the major levels, 1, 2, 3, 4 levels that you want to look at for the week. It's going to be from here, from this 43.75 and this 44. What is this? Yeah, this 44.01. 44.01 and 43.75 are your levels to break above, break below. All right, so knowing that, what I'm going to look at, because we created this base, because we're kind of just hanging out in that zone right here, I'm going to look for some good reversals, and I'm going to give you guys these tickers right here that I'm going to be looking at for the week. And I think this is all I'm going to be trading. I really want to stick to my watch list this week, and I want to make sure that I capture a lot of the reversals that have potential to happen, and not just potentials that can happen, but also swing plays that we can prepare for. So for example, if we break right here, this 44.15, most likely the tickers that I'm looking at, they're going to be breaking to the top side for the reversal. If we come down here to this 43.50 and 43.25 level, most likely the tickers that I'm looking at are going to pull back into the bottom levels for dip buys, okay? But I want you guys to be able to compare all the tickers that I'm going to be looking at here. So if my ticker for a swing play pushes up, and ES right here, 44.15, pushes up and starts trending up, my tickers are going to be swing trades. If ES comes down 43.50 and 43.25, my tickers will not be swing trades, and most likely they're going to head into dip buy levels, okay? Keep it very simple. So first ticker we're going to look at is CAT. You guys know that I've been posting CAT every single week, and I've been trying to capture the best of the moves here. So right here, I was able to capture that swing here. Also the put plays down here, I was able to capture this swing right here, and I'm actually still in it. I have 192.50 calls that I bought down here that was posted. This was posted in Conservative Collectors. I don't know if anybody's still in, but I personally am, and I entered a new position up here. So what I'm going to look for here for CAT is for this trend change to happen here. If it doesn't happen at this 193.50, I don't think it's going to reverse. It's probably going to just base out in these levels between 196 and like 190. If it can create more base in here, that would be nice. But I really think CAT has a lot of reward to the top side. I mean, look at it. Think of it this way. If you were to buy at this 190 level, and then maybe a couple months from now, you're at like 210 or even 220, like the top of this, then how much do you think an investor is going to make? That's a pretty decent reward if your stop loss is right here, right? And I'm talking about shares. I'm not talking about option contracts. So I like that it has a lot of red candles. I like that it's building here. And then there, like I said, the reversal would be over the 196. My first target would be right here about 198 to 199. And then I'll be looking for the top of 202 if we hit that high. Otherwise, I'm looking for 204 area right here. Okay, I'm looking for all these levels to start hitting 208, and I'm just looking for the trend to continue this right here. Okay, so look out for cat. Look out for cat to maybe even capture some good news. Any catalyst that can grab it here, and I want to show you guys on the weekly too how it's at a nice level, nice little candle right here. Buyer's wick from the bottom, and then holding these weekly levels, right? So cat has a lot of reward to the top side, guys. So make sure you guys continue to watch cat. Okay. The next one that I want to look at is ARC. For this one is a little more difficult because it's more like an ETF. You guys all know Cathie Woods. You definitely look at the basket of stocks that are under ARC. That's probably going to give you a bigger help. If you don't know, there's actually another video here that on conservative collectors that we talked about looking at ETFs and just sectors in general. What I want to see for ARC, I do want to point out here that this was the level where we once kind of reversed. This was the level where we bounced at this like 107. So we're almost at that same price point again. And we created this like double bottom, you can say. It's not perfect, but it was definitely created after hours. And it's pushing here now. So what I want to see now is for this little base to hold right here. You see how we're like right inside. So the 110 could be a nice dip buy. All right. I think the lowest would be 109.50. Just because it's giving it just a little more wiggle room, but other than that, I wouldn't want it anything below 110, honestly, personally. Over like the 111, what is this, 50, 111.50, I would love to go long. Targets about 113, 114, and then you just want to take it up 116. As you can see, I have all my alerts to the top side. So this is what I want to see with ARC. I just want to see it just go like this. I don't care how the trend goes up. It can go up and down in through here, can base out in here, can create a little squeeze in here, whatever it wants to do. But I want to look for that reverse. So I want to enter anywhere in here. And then my stop loss, like I said, it's right here, right? Otherwise, I don't want to look for costs for ARC, okay? So if you guys looking at ARC, make sure you guys look at POTR, UTDOC, DKNG, SQ, Tesla. Look at a lot of the bigger stocks that it has for its holdings. FSOY is another one that's just kind of been downtrending like crazy. It's a smaller ticker, so anybody can play this. I just want to point this out too. It did break of trend here. Okay, so if this can continue, your breakout entry and confirmation would be this 41 right here. And I want to put that 41. Usually I do candle bodies, but in this case, because it's a ticker that's been trending down for such a long time, as you can see, I really just want the break above the wicks to continue to the top side. The first target would be around 42, which is these levels here, this base here, all the way to that 43.20. And then you just want to trail it all the way to the top. You have all these peaks that it touched the trend line. So those would be your targets into the top side. So smaller ticker can be rewarding. Otherwise, below that 40 level, sorry, these wicks right here. Yeah, 40. I would short it and just continue to short it just because it's still downtrending. So the break above would continue to the top and just give us at least like a nice little rally, which could be nice for anybody with a smaller ticker. So TTD, I'm actually in this one, guys. I did post a swing trade for this. So again, with the downtrending, I like to look for reversals. And like I said, the market sentiment is gonna have to break above, right? The market sentiment has to be solid. So I did enter right here, right at the close. I saw a lot of value that it was holding here, and we are kind of over this little piece here. This is why I saw a lot of value, that it's a very simple trade. If this goes wrong, right, below the 70, I will stop loss. If this keeps going and pushing above this resistance levels, I would definitely hold my swing. So the risk to reward on this kind of made sense for me. The downtrend, it looks like it just came back inside, so it's trying to curl with some good rising volume. It may not look like much, but it's pretty decent for TTD. So I did take a long position on this for the weekend, and we'll see. I would definitely add over that 72. Okay, I'm gonna look for this top right here, basically the 74. After that 74, I'm gonna look for that like 75 level, basically to fill this little gap that it has. And then up here that 76.50, and then as high as 77 to 78. So this can be another good play for TTD If you guys just keep eyes on it, below 70 though, I would technically short it, just to get your money back, if anybody took that swing with me, and then ride it to that 68. Okay. Well, a $2 move, for a $1 stop loss kind of makes sense, right? Qualcomm. I want to point out Qualcomm on the weekly time frame. Looks like it's downtrending kind of nice. Probably has a lot of potential to keep on dropping, but it's going to depend a lot on the market sentiment, right? So that 123. What is this? Bottom of these wicks here, about 126, 125. All right, so this is the bottom of the weekly. Okay. On the 4-hour, look where it's holding. Okay. That 126, right? Yeah, 125, 125.50. All right, so I'm gonna grab the bottom of this right here. Right there. All right, all this. Okay, what I want to see here, because everything kind of looks bearish still on Qualcomm. A lot of the chips have been getting um, some bad vibes and some bad catalyst here. It's not looking all that great for these Qualcomm, TSM, INTC, MU. So I think AMD and NVIDIA are still struggling as well, but at least they're up there and they still have great value. So what I want to see with Qualcomm, basically point out the weekly level and then 4-hour time frame where we have like the last support, and it looks like we're building some candles right here, right? So here we just kind of like snapped up. Right here we kind of snapped up as well. We didn't build that much structure, and then now we're finally building some structure here. We are on this downtrend though. Look at this drop base, and then we created this nice little flag thing going on here, and then we dropped again. So the potential for this to continue is very high, but also understand that we did kind of just build this base here. Okay, so I separated this from the drop and the pop to the top, and then here we're kind of just landing at the bottom. So this technically looks like a good dip buy. Again, the only thing would be the difference of, you know, what the catalyst is going to be for this and how it's going to build, how it's going to have reaction, how the volume is going to come in, what the market sentiment is going to do, all those factors into consideration. But let's just say you do make a game plan for something like this. What I would look for is I would look to buy the dip, right? Depending on market sentiment at open. I want to be able to buy right here, 125.50. Okay. So let's just say you buy a contract with even a weekly, like whatever makes sense for you, right? Your stop loss is right there. See how simple that is? If you buy something with more time, it's going to be a little more difficult because you do have, you know, this whole room to the downside. So like I said, it's going to depend what the market does at open. If this thing just trends up, I would love to go over 128. 128, that 130, you have this wick right here at 130.70, and then you have the high right here of like 131.50. So there's potential for the top side, but again, it's going to depend how the market's going to open tomorrow and pre-market levels. If we gap up, gap down, whatever the case may be. But if it do break 125.50, we're going to look for 123, and like I said, that's like the last support that we have on the weekly. And if you wanted to buy it there too, you can. And then it's the same thing. Your stop loss is right below. All right. So very easy trades here. You just got to be wise in what the market sentiment is going to be, what the volume is going to be, how it's going to react on the smaller time frames as well, and look for all that stuff. But technically looks at a great big buy level. Okay. So watch out for Qualcomm. This is probably one of my top plays for this week. I'm really going to come in here and focus on what it's going to do. And Monday is going to be the day, the deciding factor of where we're going. So look out for that. Okay. Z is another one that's just been getting smacked around pretty heavily. This weekly time frame looks ugly, but the trend is getting real tight. So the candle bodies are getting a lot smaller here, and then there's a lot of fighting. So this technically this is like a little doji right here. It's not the most perfect doji, but it is. And then what we have here is we have a nice downtrend still. Okay, so getting closer here. And then it looks like we almost kind of found the bottom. I hate saying we found the bottom, but it does look bullish here. So what I want to see with Z, 90 is the lowest level that I want to go. So you can see I do have my alert right here. Okay. And then my break above is going to be this, just like this 93, 94 area, even 96. I'm really waiting for the 100 level to break, because this was a very strong resistance. So I really just want to see Z hold this level right here. Okay, that's the level. You see how we have a support here, support, breakdown right here, rejection right here, and then right here we're just testing from the top. This is all I want to see. I want to make it as very simple as this here. I don't care how high we go. I just want to make sure that we hold this 90 level. That's it. So again, looking for a long on Z, along with ARC. Okay. And also want to point out something for you guys that the Chinese stocks, BABA, Bidu, JD are all plays that look long. Okay. These have been trending for a downtrending for such a long time, that BABA's at a great buy level on the weekly. Baidu is on a great buy level on the weekly, and JD has just been holding these levels. So out of all of them, I think BABA and Baidu are probably two of the biggest ones that have a lot of value. I don't know how you guys feel about them when it comes to the news and stuff. Make sure you guys do some due diligence on that. But I will be looking to get some longs on these. No specific level, because BABA does gap up and gap down a lot because it's a Chinese stock. And wherever the Chinese market is, that's where we will be moving. So technically you can't really look at levels. It's kind of hard. So don't consider these gap fills when you look at BABA and be like, hey, we're going for a gap fill. Like, don't do that. Okay. You just want to make sure you look at major price points. That's it. See here, it's like pure gaps and gaps everywhere, even on the floor. If you look at the daily, it probably looks ugly as heck. But I think this 160 level, it's going to be a good area. If anything, this 153 would be a nice dip buy, but I'm looking for 170 and just technically 180 for BABA. So I'm probably going to pick up a swing on BABA. Baidu, same thing. It looks like we trend changed. Not the perfect one, but you can see that we kind of had a nice channel. We gapped up and we just started going. So I'm going to be looking for these top levels of 170. If we can reach there by the end of the week, most likely it'll catch more attention into the next week after this. So looking for that. JD was the other one that I actually played for a day trade. Did post this in the channel. So it hit the high of, what is this, 78.90. And I entered right here at this break of like 77 or something. But yeah, I'll look for the reversal on some of these. Look for staircase patterns to be created. Look for the Chinese stocks to get a little more attention this week and into the next couple of weeks. So definitely keep those on your radar. Okay, another one, mRNA. mRNA doesn't really have much support right here. So if we break this 296, 300 to 296 out, 294 to 296 and 300 levels, if we break these right here, we're most likely going to come down into this 240. Okay, so this is a free fall. This is not really a whole lot of support. So if we do break this, make sure you guys set those alerts at 300, 296, and 294. Okay, this is going to be a pretty nasty fall. So as you can see, not a whole lot of support. We only have one little candle right here. So if it gets smacked down, it's going to get smacked down pretty heavily. So otherwise, I really don't care for the call side. I would rather go on the put side for mRNA. So Apple, if you guys want Apple, I know a lot of you guys like to trade Apple. So over 144.50 is going to break trend, and it's probably going to come up to this 147 and 148. That's what I would be looking for Apple. So Apple's a very easy ticker to trade. So I really don't got to do a lot of TA on this thing. Buy at support, sell at resistance, keep it very simple with Apple. So yeah, these are going to be the top watch for the week, guys. CAT, ARC, FSOY, TTD, Qualcomm, Z, BABA, Baidu, JD, and mRNA. The top one, I guess, for my week is going to be Qualcomm, Cat, and ARC. Those are going to be my top ones, but Qualcomm mainly. Qualcomm has a lot of risk to reward plays here. And like I said, most of these tickers are going to be swing trades. All right, use the levels that were provided as day trades, scalp trades, whatever you guys want to do. Be in and out of your plays. Make sure you guys manage risk. Make sure you follow those stop losses. If it's not holding support, cut loss. If it's breaking resistance, just hold and let it go. Okay. If you're on the 5 minute, you want to hold a little longer, zoom out, go on the 15. Once you're on the 15 and you're good to go still, and it's still going, go on the 30 minute, right? After you go on the 30 minute and it's still going and it's still good, and the market's still healthy, go on the 1 hour. After the 1 hour, you go on the 4 hour. Therefore, you build your swing play, okay? All you got to do from the minute you enter is you scale out and you zoom out on timeframes, and that's what's going to give you the better hold and the better move to catch the runners and let them run, okay? Once it hits your first profit target, set that as a stop loss. Once it hits your second profit target, set that as a stop loss and move it up, and continue to just do that, okay? Trail every position and manage that stop loss. So want to leave you guys with that, guys. Hopefully this helps you for the week. TTD, Qualcomm, Z, Baba, ARC, Cat, Apple, and just look at the market in general. And remember one thing, that financials have earnings this week. So there may be some good movement in the banks. So I'll leave you guys with that. Hopefully you guys have a great week and look out for the next video on Wednesday. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one.